Hello, everyone. So, one of the things that have been doing the rounds of the social media is the Epstein controversy. As you all might know, Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted pedophile and he has been involved in some very, very nasty things. Now, the thing is, this gentleman that you see behind him is the current President Donald Trump. Now, the Trump administration, this Jeffrey Epstein story, it broke out in 2017 first, and even before that. So he was convicted of sex trafficking and also human trafficking. At that time, President Donald Trump was supposedly a very good friend of Jeffrey Epstein. It was found out that he was not only living life on the edge himself, but he was also procuring merchandise for other people, people which include celebrities, politicians, world leaders, visionaries, and great thinkers. So he used to provide all of these clowns with children. One part of the problem is that where are those children now? Have they all been killed or are they being held somewhere against their will? That's one thing. The other thing is that who were all these clients? Who all were part of this whole nonsense, right? And so the Trump administration actually rode to power, riding on the promise that they would release the Epstein files, but they haven't. Because when he was promising to release the Epstein files, promising to open up the client list and everything else,
So if you're able to, you'll be.
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now,
yeah,
Kennedy's
that's what
interesting
he
because
had
it's so
been
many years
saying, right?
ago. They do that for danger too, because, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
So that's what he had said earlier, but now he's saying something completely different.
Can you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of Saturday?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey,
I
Pam,
could,
could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's
Yes,
been
we are
talked
talking
about
about
for
Jeffrey
years.
Epstein.
You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Yes, we are
That
talking
is
about this creep because we want to know what has
You
been
want to
going
waste
on. Yes, you have Texas and you have all the flooding and all the natural disasters in your country, but still, we all want to know what's going on. Who all were involved with Epstein? That's the question, isn't it? So, this kind of backtracking, this kind of backpedaling on promises, that has sort of affected the trust that the MAGA people had on Trump. And as usual, TikTok has been flooded with all kinds of reactions and all kinds of meltdowns. You have people who are throwing away all their MAGA merchandise, and you have people who are burning, like Donald Trump's pictures and all. So this was shared by Morgan J. Freeman. So people have been sharing these kind of posts, which shows Trump with not only Jeffrey Epstein but also Ghislaine Maxwell. The lady who was supposedly procuring girls for Jeffrey Epstein. I've seen this video in the past actually. And look at this face. My God, looks evil already. Yeah, so these kind of images have been doing the rounds. So people are now saying that probably Trump was also involved with the Jeffrey Epstein thing, even though he claims that he isn't. But still, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, right? I mean, for all we know, it could be that Donald Trump or, you know, the deep state or whoever is in control right now, you have these people, they are using the blackmail material to blackmail the involved parties further, could be, or could be that there are people closer to Trump administration who are also involved in this because this was a huge operation, right? This was like a decade-old operation. Because apparently Jeffrey Epstein, he was probably working with Mossad. Like that's the general consensus. Uh, Not only that, it is also said that Ghislaine Maxwell, her dad was a Mossad agent who apparently committed suicide, just like Jeffrey Epstein. And people had very interesting take on why the names are not being released. So let's hear this gentleman out.
Talked to President Trump man to man, eye to eye, on St. Patrick's Day about this and the Kennedy files and the King files. It was all one conversation. And he said, and I agree, there are a lot of names associated with Epstein that had nothing to do with Epstein's conduct. They maybe had lunch with him or maybe had some correspondence for one thing or another. If that name gets out, those people are destroyed because there's not going to be any context. Media doesn't care about context. So you can't do that. You can't destroy human beings by putting out the files, whatever they may be. I talked to President
You know,
Trump.
that's actually true what this gentleman says. Because if you release some names, those names will be out there without context. So you have to ensure that the ones you are naming are the nasty ones. So if you release someone else's name who has just been dining with Jeffrey Epstein or, met him at a party, got clicked, those people, they will just lose their credibility just by association. So it's a very dangerous game. So you have to be very careful whose names you're revealing and whose names you're holding back. Because it is going to, if it ever happens in the future, I don't know what's going to happen, but if it happens, then you need to safeguard those people who had nothing to do with all the nonsense, who had nothing to do with all the bullshit. So this is Alan Dersh, and he saw the entire Epstein list while proving his innocence. Documents are being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they are being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them, but I'm bound by confidentiality. Let's hear him out.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely on the Epstein, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But
I'm sure there are many more people who know about what's going on. And I'm sure if they have been reached out to by the deep state or whoever's trying to suppress this news. And I'm also sure that many people have, died mysterious deaths, suicides and stuff like that. However, then you have people like attorney Bradley Edwards, who's representing 70 trafficking victims. So this is what he had to say about Trump.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
And that was in 2009?
That was in 2009. So,
do you know if there's any truth to James Patrick?
So now we don't know whether Trump was really involved in this in any capacity, even though he was supposedly friends with Jeffrey Epstein for more than 16 years, probably longer than that, who knows. But Jeffrey Epstein, this guy had some serious client list, if the client list is true, because there have been a lot of lists floating around naming names. I won't be showing them over here, but you can look for them if you want. But those are some seriously powerful people. And you're not just talking about celebrities anymore. You're talking about politicians. You're talking about political families, like the Clinton family. And there has been a lot of, whispers and murmurs about rumors about the Clinton family and its operations, right? Now, child trafficking is a very serious offense. Like, it's inhumane. And I remember there's a lot of, at some point in time, I think in 2021 or in 2017, 16. I don't remember the date exactly, but there was supposedly this video of a very powerful lady in America, and her press secretary who were torturing a child and, ripping her face off and wearing it to terrorize the child further so that they can generate adrenochrome from that child. I think that video was titled Frazzle Drip or something. I'll have to look into it. I'll look into it and let you guys know further. But anyway, point I'm trying to make is that if there are some truly connected people who are involved in this, if there are some truly influential people who are involved in this case, then you have to have some reservations about how you're going to release all the information, because you have to be tactful. You can't just release information and then let God sort it out, because there will be a huge backlash for whatever information comes out of that, right? And if there truly are some very powerful people involved, they will do everything in their power to stop it, right? I mean, look at the Epstein. Look at Epstein himself. I mean, he committed suicide. That's what they claim. There are some other, claims that Jeffrey Epstein actually ran away. He escaped, and it was actually his brother who was killed and put in his place. Who knows what's going on? But the thing is that these are some very serious offenses, and obviously everybody wants to keep their, slate clean. So definitely, if anyone's really involved in it, anyone with influence, anyone with power, they will definitely do everything to stop this from coming out, right? And on the other hand, you will see that with everything that has been going on in America, I think even if you want to release this file right now, this is not the good time for America, because see, on one hand you have flooding and all the other natural disaster, forest fires and earthquakes and everything, extreme weather all across US, right? And on the other hand, you have the ICE agents who are going after the migrants, who are going after, illegal migrants and deporting them. So this is probably not the good time to release this file if it's going to implicate some really powerful people. And of what Donald Trump said, Donald Trump has done this in the past, that he will say something to sort of pacify everyone, or sort of, bring everything to a standstill, and then suddenly they'll do something else. Because remember, uh, just before they attacked Iran, Donald Trump had said that, just the day before the attack, Donald Trump has said that we are going to, wait for a couple of weeks, and after a couple of weeks, we are going to go into Iran and see what happens. That very next day, they attacked Iran. I mean, Iran. So even during Operation Sindoor, JD Vance and all the other people, Pete Hegseth, were all saying that, oh, no, we have no involvement in that conflict. That is not our conflict. They will sort it out. The very next day, when the Noor Khan airbase happened, immediately Americans were there. Oh, India and Pakistan, they're neighbors, they have to stop, destabilize the region and all. So, yeah, I mean, Trump has done that a lot, right? And then he claims that he, you know, did the ceasefire, helped with the ceasefire. But so that's why I'm saying that maybe Trump is just saying things right now just to, you know, keep it on the down low. I know people are getting very, very irritated and frustrated with the way he's behaving, but let's see, maybe he will release those files, because see, right now it's just too much happening in America. And if they release the file right now, that's going to cause a shitstorm. So who knows? Let's see what happens.